Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Actually Comics. My name is Tristan, and I'm joined today by Bob.
Hello there. It's nice to be here.
It is nice to be here. As always, it's nice to be here. We love being here.
There's such a manic energy already in this.
Oh, boy. I just love being here. I've had so much fucking coffee today.
You had a busy day in the store, you said.
It was insane. And I have a coffee maker here now, so
Yes.
I just drink coffee fucking non-stop. It is insane.
I also am still drinking coffee.
You were like, oh my God, I hope there's no caffeine in this soda.
Yeah, I know,
Here, let me
like,
wash it down with some coffee.
It's true. I was just trying to illustrate for illustrative purposes that I also have been drinking coffee.
Illustrative.
Yeah,
there we go. All right, we're all plugged in. Everything's recording. All that's good.
That's
excellent. Good. Yeah, that definitely helps. It's not a crazy week. There's a lot of comics, but most of them seem to be variants. There's some pretty cool, important things coming out this week. We got some exciting stuff like the Immortal Thor is out this week, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other kind of big deal books out, so I'm stoked to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's start.
Cool.
Y'all ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you ready for this? The best-selling comic book of whatever year this came out, Spider-Man 300.
You know, can I just say, I actually read this cover to cover. I was like, this is a pretty good fucking comic book.
It is a good comic book. I will say this, I like Todd McFarlane. And
yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it's definitely like dated, you know,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it was the first one on the stack, and I read it cover to cover, and I was like, ooh, I shouldn't have spent that much time reading this because now I have this another enormous stack to read in a much shorter period of time.
It is from the 90s.
And I owned it when it came out, and I collected it when it came out, and wish I still had it because it's worth money.
It sure is. If you don't know, that was the first appearance of Venom.
Yes. Sort of.
The contested first appearance of Venom. Everyone thinks it's something. Who knows what it is?
I contest it.
Good job. I would say the first appearance of Venom is
the issue before, right? Or the two issues before. I think it's the one issue before.
Sure. Oh, God.
I guess technically maybe it's...
Can you kill that overhead fan for me?
Oh, yeah, I can.
It's really blowing these comics. Anyway, I'm going to talk about Amazing Spider-Man number 32. They're really pushing Kraven the Hunter for some reason. He's appearing in a bunch of books this week for reasons unknown. I mean, not reasons unknown. There's a Kraven the Hunter movie that has no Kraven the Hunter in it whatsoever. It just has some weird dude running around New York. It's a typical Fox thing. But there you go. Amazing Spider-Man's fun. Hey, look, it's Bob. He's back.
It was, yeah.
Hi.
Yes, the fan is no longer running.
Now the comics look okay.
Now we're going to sweat.
Yep. Until we bleed. Is that dope enough? Bleed. CNC Music Factory. Thank you.
Yes, I actually caught the reference, but
that's so sad.
I mean, not really. It's an
iconic.
It's a bump and
Song.
jam. It's an iconic song. Yes.
Yes, an iconically bump and jam.
Freedom Williams is a great rapper.
You mean the Dome, who is back with the bass, the jam that's live, and it's best that he don't waste time on the mic with a dope rhyme? Oh, yeah, right. I love that guy.
Yeah, he's great. So, yeah, the Spider-Man comic is fine. It kind of... Yeah, it was cool. I like Patrick Gleason, and he's back on the art.
Yeah, same.
So, good.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Patrick
I liked
Gleason
it better than the last issue, which felt padded for some reason. Like, they were like, legacy issue, and then it was just like a bunch of like short stories, the first one was like...
That's kind of why it felt padded, is because it's a legacy issue, and they had 1 billion pages to fill.
Yeah, but they didn't need to... it was up to them to decide how long it was going to be.
No, it was up to the people who make the financial decisions how long it would be.
Really? Do you think there was like some suit at Marvel is saying like Amazing Spider-Man number 900 has to have 45 pages or whatever? Like,
I would guarantee it. I would put so much money on it that they know how much issue with 60 pages sells and how much money they make off it and why they would do that and how many variants, what type of variant it's going to be, what type of incentives to put on it, and that it's all done by a calculation and that there is no creativity left in the entire world.
If you were watching the video, you just saw my heart break. You could pinpoint it.
That's what I like doing.
Freeze frame it.
Yes. You can see the moment, just like...
It happened. The moment that like my soul departed my body and I realized that I've wasted my life collecting comic books just happened during that speech.
I've wasted my life.
Oh, Aquaman, you can't marry a woman without gills. From two different worlds.
What about Batman? Do the adventures continue?
Yeah.
Season 3.
They do.
Issue 7.
They do. It was fine actually. The art was like really good, and
cool.
It's cool. If you like the Batman animated stuff, it's the adventures continue.
I think it's super cool that they're doing this. I'm not reading this series, but it's cool that they do it.
Yeah, if you want a Batman comic that isn't about whether he's going to hook up with Catwoman or not. I mean, actually, no, this one is totally about that, isn't it? Eat those words. I guess every Batman comic has to be about that now.
What about Batman Beyond Neo-Gothic? It's whether he'll hook up with an actual Catwoman or not.
Yeah, that was strange. I don't like the art style. Like, I don't have any problem with the art on it, but I like the Batman Beyond when it's in that Darwin Cook, like very graphic, like
it's a weird choice.
Yeah, and like having.
But I also don't dislike this book. I think it's really good.
No. I'm not in any way shitting on it or the quality of the art. I just don't think the style matches the tone that I have in my head.
Totally on board with you. I think that they have
Beyond.
mismatched this comic with an artist.
Yeah, it's like a stylistic mix-up of like Batman the Animated Series and like future tech kind of fun, like neo-futurism stuff.
Neo-Tokyo, about to explode. It is. Batman, the Brave and the Bold.
Oh, man, this is a perfect example of why you need a marquee name on a book like this, because I could not find any reason that I would want to purchase this comic book. Despite the fact that the black and white in the back had great art and it was cool, unless you're already following like the specific continued narratives that are in this, there's no reason to buy this comic book, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm not following it, so I have no particular
the other ones, like there were the ones that had like the Superman with Javier Rodriguez that was really cool, and then like people are into the Tom King stuff, and it's like this one just didn't have any. It was just the backups. It was just Stormwatch or whatever, and it's like, I'm sorry, like it's just like you're not going to get people to spend $8 on a square-bound book that just has backups in it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. It was a misfire. Sorry, DC.
Sorry. Battle Chasers number 12, the continuing Battle Chasers saga from Joe Madureira is out this week.
Have they caught the battle yet?
No, they have not.
Are they like storm
the problem
chasers?
is that the breasts are so large that they can't see the battle in front of them.
I appreciated that the main character on the cover had huge breasts but no nose. I think it's impressive that you got to get the important details.
So this
she can't breathe, but she has huge tits.
This is an interesting thing. I mean, this has gone around the internet a little bit. This theory about manga style, but the reason that some people claim, the reason that the style of manga with the nose the way that it is because they're not emulating human beings; they're emulating cats. They're drawing human beings like cats, and so they have those snub noses. And if you look at the actual design, the way that the arc of the nose goes and everything, the face is very cat-like as opposed to human-like.
Yeah, that does make sense
more
because
cat-like than human-like.
It's also more like triangularly composed with like the way the chin.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can see that. That's actually really interesting.
It's fascinating. I had never
just reignited my love of comics.
Damn it!
If you're watching the video, it just came back.
No.
My soul just re-entered my
Heart
body.
just grew 3 sizes.
No, it actually didn't. I just think it's mildly interesting. So.
Yes, it is mildly interesting. That's pretty much the kind of information I bring to the world.
I like it. That's good.
Is that
That's
which
good
is mildly interesting.
I like that. I like mildly interesting stuff.
Big game.
Yeah, some guy
Who loves that?
and some other guy talk and fight.
Yep.
And I don't know
Talk,
who
talk,
they are
fight,
because
fight,
I don't
fight.
read them. But I did flip through every
read.
page of this comic book for some reason.
You got fucking Pepe Larraz doing the artwork, so that's one good reason.
Looks good.
So it looks real good.
Looks good.
It's black. We got the Black Panther.
My name was Pepe.
I mean, that is a
cool name.
Big name to fill. Like if your name is Pepe, you got to step up. That is a boy named Sue type name. That's like you got to be a fucking cool person to get through life with a name like Pepe.
Got to be jacked.
I would imagine that definitely would encourage you to get jacked. Black Panther number 3, not
good.
by Pepe Larraz.
No, but it was good.
Yes.
I like this Black Panther comic book.
Yeah. Dark Knights of Steel is finally wrapping up after all these years.
It did. Things happen in it. I
And we
won't
can-
say what they are because, number one, I don't remember, and number two, I don't want to spoil it.
And we can also see that it wraps up just in time for McFarlane to make some action figures based on it.
Yes, it also
There's
ends...
a really good-looking Batman action figure coming out based on that, too.
I will spoil this. It doesn't... It ends with a to be continued, just like all these things do now. It's like 12 issues, but then like it ends with a like, but what's next? And it's like, okay, clearly the next series is next.
12 issues, unless... yeah, exactly.
Unless it sells, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, oh, I don't know.
You want to make out as a joke? Unless it's not a joke. That's comics right now. Yep.
Very, very good. I like that.
Captain America, finally, or finale.
Finale.
I
Yeah.
prefer finally.
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 I mean, honestly, this story was kind of a dud. That said, this issue was just fine. It was good. I read it.
Which Kelly is this? Is this Joe Kelly?
No, it's that team of Kelly Lansing.
Oh.
They are a writing team. A beast with two backs, if you will.
Are they,
Sorry, I just felt like getting Shakespearean there.
are they a teen mystery solving team?
Possibly. I don't really know much about them other than that they always write together and that often they're...
Do they solve teen mysteries? That's all I need to know.
That would be cool. They are hardy, these boys.
Oh, good.
I don't actually
How
don't
are
even
they-
know
how
if they're
are-
boys. I have no
How are
idea.
their Nancy Drews?
I don't know.
Christopher Chaos.
I like Christopher Chaos. It's cool. It's turning into a weird team book, and I dig it. It's
Yeah,
it's
they
actually
keep-
really fun.
I
So
love
there's
the fact-
Dracula Boy.
That they keep adding new characters each time. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
and so we're building the Justice League of weirdos.
Of
which is
weird
great.
kids, yeah, that like are literally crime-solving mystery solvers too.
I
Like
mean,
it's
no, that is the one thing is that you've got your fucking supernatural / super science
yeah,
Scooby Doo gang. I mean,
Dracula Boy, who like
am
they
I
keep
gonna
calling
do?
by his name, and he's like, "My name's Dracula Boy."
Dracula Boy.
That's a good joke. I
God,
like it.
Dracula Boy.
Are you a vampire? And he's like, shows the little fang. It's cool. I like Christopher Chaos. It's good. The
I do
art's good too.
And you know what else came out?
What?
Daredevil and Echo.
I did not understand it.
Nope. Same.
It was weird.
Darkwing Duck.
It features both Launchpad McQuack and Gyro Gearloose.
And also Dispella Diarmison.
Oh, I don't
Anna
know.
Diarmison.
Anna Diarmas?
Is it Cruella Dispel or something?
The one that played Marilyn in that terrible movie where she has a Spanish accent for some reason.
Because she's from Spain.
Well, I mean, I know why why Marilyn had a. Oh, that was a weird fucking movie, man. It was singing fetuses. Like, what the fuck?
Wow, I did not see that.
Yeah, it was
If
weird.
I had known there were singing fetuses, I probably would have.
It's just one
Oh.
fetus.
It's really all you need, to be honest. If you're like, how many singing fetuses does it take to make a weird movie? The answer is one.
Yes.
I mean, just ask Eraserhead.
My wife Allie watches every movie that's nominated for an Oscar every year.
God,
And I don't.
I would barf my brains out.
I don't / can't. However, I do join her for a lot of them, and certainly more of them than I ever did in the past.
Yeah.
And the one I did watch was the Marilyn biopic that the lady was nominated for an Oscar, and she had a Spanish accent while she played Marilyn Monroe, and she talked to a singing fetus.
I love it. Okay, now I think I need to see it.
I mean, it's really bad, but it's worth seeing. It's just really bad. Like, don't think it's like, oh, I'm gonna love it. Like,
People are
you're
huge
not
cheeses.
gonna love it. It's just you'll kind of think that it's an interesting thing that you have seen it afterwards.
I like that. I mean, there's a lot of things I watch for that exact reason.
I also might be mildly misrepresenting the singing fetus, but I do think it did sing. I don't think I'm totally
did it
wrong.
tap dance and did it have a cane and a little hat?
No, when the fetus came out and there was weird shit with the fetus, I kind of disassociated for a moment, so I'm not really.
Oh, so maybe you had a dream where a fetus sang. And
No, the
danced.
fetus. Maybe it just talks, but she does talk to it. There's interaction with the
You're a strange
ghost
dude.
fetus.
Yeah. Okay.
It's weird.
Hey,
It's
man.
a weird movie.
That's pretty weird.
But I will say about it, the cinematography is cool. Allie didn't like the cinematography, but for me, the thing that worked about it was that they went out of their way to recreate like the lighting and situations of these kind of historical photos and things that you know about, like just iconic images
yeah.
of Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Like, so it does feel very much like it's part of what it's supposedly representing, but then it's just like wild swings at like really weird shit that's like extrapolating stuff about her life, and it's bad, but it looks good.
Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe, I don't know. I kind of want to watch it again now.
That's
Anyway, we're
that's
talking about
weird.
comic books.
Listen, I had a dream last night that I was saved from a gunman by Lou Diamond Phillips, who parachuted in with a bunch of paratroopers using only a desk fan that he was holding, and it was propelling him downwards. And he said, "I told you I'd come."
We should make a comic of dreams.
I don't know what that means.
I'm trying to think of the weird dream
Something very strange.
Before the end of this, I'll remember the weird dream I had.
Did it involve DC Rawubby?
No, it didn't.
Well, that does.
I don't know what a Ruebi is.
We'll
I still don't know. I've read like every issue. I've flipped through every issue of both of these series, and I still don't know what a Ruebi is. It looks kind of like a Sailor Moon, I think.
Sure.
Maybe.
It's like a Sailor Moon, only a Rawubby.
Yeah.
We got Dead Lucky.
Yep.
Number 8.
Nice looking book.
We've got Dead Pooley.
I think it's the final issue.
Number 10. That wouldn't surprise me. Deadpool series seem to last about 10 issues these days.
Kind of. I think it says the end. And
it was not a spectacular run, and people did not embrace it, so I can see why they ended it a little early.
There might be some background noise going on in this one.
Done the same
from the outside.
Oh, I think that these fancy microphones will not pick that up.
Ooh, that's cool.
They're unidirectional and not omnidirectional. We got Dead Romans, number 6.
Yeah, I'm hearing something in the microphones.
You're hearing this thing talk.
The headphones.
Yeah, you're hearing the slap back on this thing. I just turned it down.
Oh,
this fucking thing has
slaps.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so stupid.
I'm sorry. I thought it was coming from the out of doors.
Nope,
anyway,
it's coming from the in of doors. I should have turned down the. Hopefully, there isn't a lot of that coming through, but we'll see. Anyway,
sorry,
because it is very close to my microphone.
Breaking kayfabe.
Fair. We got Dead Romans. We got Earth Divers Ice Age, number 9.
Nice looking book as well.
Yep. We got Fantastic Four Annual, number 1. It is another one of these contests of chaos.
Yes, and inexplicably, I do not understand why the Human Torch still has a handlebar mustache.
Because it looks hot.
It does. It looks dumb.
He is not a handlebar mustache type.
Yeah, no. If anyone in this comic should have a handlebar mustache, it should be Johnny Blaze.
Yes, absolutely. If somebody's gonna look like Lemmy, remake Johnny Blaze to look like Lemmy.
I mean, yeah.
I'm all about that.
I don't know. Give him some. I don't know. This is Human Torch is like he's Ken.
Yeah,
he's Ken. That's what he looks like, Ken.
Firepower.
Yeah, that's 26. A cool book.
It is.
I love Chris Samnee.
Yeah,
and the art is great, and there's like some cool stuff. Like that comic book.
There's an Ice Cream Man, number 36.
Did you read it?
I didn't. I should have.
Good.
It's
weird,
so
but it's like sometimes this book is good in a way that is I'm just not smart enough to really get. This one is good in a like Pinocchio / Moby Dick / like nice. Weird bathtub blowhole weird. Bathtub blowhole. That's all I gotta say about this one. It's like pretty cool.
As someone who reads this after the fact, like I tend to give Ice Cream Man less of a short shrift after the fact. I don't read it before.
Yeah.
It's not that it's so smart. It's just that if you don't give it your full attention, you're missing out on.
There's certain ones that I've given more than my full attention, and I still am just like, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
I never really feel that way, but
I'm not very deep, man. I'm pretty stupid in a lot of ways, but this one was cool. It was like Pinocchio and Moby Dick, kind of. It was a whale and a guy and a quest.
What about Indigo Children, number 6?
Couldn't tell you anything about it.
Nor could I, but I can tell you one thing. People fucking love it.
Nice. That's cool.
It is one of those books that I was like, I didn't read it, so I didn't know. It's one of those mistakes that I've made.
Did not know its
You know what I
power.
mean? Well, basically, like, I didn't know that it was good, and like looking at the covers, I'm like, man, it looks like the same old shit as like 90% of these not very good books from Image.
I didn't like the art, so it didn't grab me on that
It looked
level.
like something that no one was going to care about, and then
Boom.
like
Explode out.
keep selling out, sell out. Like I kept increasing my numbers consistently. It's very strange.
Well, that's cool.
Which is
Congratulations.
imagine
on
that
making a
story
book.
in reverse, and you have a little comic called The Invincible Iron Man. This he's not bad. It's just that
Yeah, I read this one. I don't. There's things about it that I could complain about or say like blah blah blah, but like it's fine.
yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's just not for me.
I mean, I'm
Personally.
just it's so rare that there's an Iron Man comic that I want to read.
Why doesn't he ever just get to do Iron Man shit? Why
I
is it
agree.
always about like who he's hanging out with? It's like, oh, he's
Yeah.
hanging out with Hellcat for
Yep.
this one, and then she's
Yeah.
gone, and now he's hanging out with Emma. It's like I don't give a fuck who he hangs out with. That's for the Avengers.
Yeah,
That's when you hang out with Iron Man. Like this one is like Iron Man doing shit.
There
He's
is
not doing anything.
I mean, this is probably
It's
very
getting beat
wrong
up.
to say. I'm probably telling tales out of school here, or no, not that.
Ooh.
I'm probably lying. No,
Lying.
I just think that it feels like people aren't smart enough to write Iron Man. Like they don't get writers who have the technical know-how or are willing to do research and like interview real scientists and be like, hey, what would happen if this happens? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like there's a lot of writers out there who will go out, and if they don't understand something, they'll interview a doctor and be like, hey, I'm doing this medical procedural thing. What would happen if somebody tried to eat their own leg? Whatever. And the doctor will explain how it works. And it feels like with Iron Man, people are afraid to go into those technical details because they're like, I don't know, it's too much work maybe.
Yeah.
And they're getting paid fucking Marvel wages, so they're like, I'm not gonna do extra work for this. I'm just gonna Iron Man. He's got a repulsor thing on the hand and the foot, and then shoots stuff, and then he hangs out with Hellcat for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
It's like Warren Ellis will be like, hey, let me tell you a story about this genetic modification that he's doing where he slices his brain into 6 pieces, and then he's playing chess with Mr. Fantastic while he's working on something in his lab with 3 robots using parts of his brain.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's fascinating. Oh, he has too much information in his brain. Now we're going to take his brain and load it into a computer, and he's going to have to go find all the parts of it because wow, that's an Iron Man
Yeah,
story that
that's
like a
cool.
technical, crazy, interesting, sci-fi / steam / cyberpunk crazy story.
But
That's
then
fun.
The issue with that, though, unfortunately, with serial comic booking, is that when someone does do that comic, then when the next person does the comic and they don't do that stuff, it's just kind of like, why did he just do it then? Why did he only have 4D chess like at that time, and then now he doesn't do it anymore? And it's like basically the only. I feel like in a lot of ways, the only real story they have to tell is just like someone's gonna tear him down to nothing, and then he's gonna
Then
build
build him
himself
back. Yeah,
back
so
up. And
that
I'm just
feels
like,
the Iron Man story.
yeah,
That
and
feels
or
like the one Iron Man story.
and he gets down to ground zero, and then he walks by a bar, and he looks in, and he sees a bottle of whiskey in there, and
Yep.
it's like, is he gonna? And he walks on by, and then he
Or he doesn't.
hooks up with Emma Frost or whatever.
Although I will say,
don't
when
know.
I gotta say, him lapsing was actually one of my favorite
Yeah.
moments in Marvel, was because he got drunk with dwarves. Which I was like, okay, if you're gonna relapse, here's a good point to relapse. When dwarves say, we're not going to give you the Uhuru armor unless you
Oh yeah.
get drunk with us in our underground mines. And he's like, fuck it, I'm going to
Right.
get drunk, and then
But
I'm
that
going to
was
make a
because-
crazy armor out of the destroyer armor.
Because he had to sacrifice
Yes.
in order to
And that
be
was his-
worthy.
exactly,
Which
he
is very much
sacrificed
in
his-
keeping with that whole Norse shit that was going on.
Yeah, it was super cool. I love that.
AKA smart storytelling.
Yeah.
That was Jason Aaron, wasn't it?
That was Jason Aaron.
Like that guy. Anyway.
Oh, I didn't even talk about this. Jean Grey #1. I actually liked this comic.
Yeah.
I mean, I made fun of it to you because I was like, I knew this was the kind of story that you would hate, because you tend to hate things that are as negative as this. Because this is almost a what if Jean Grey was a fucking dick. But it's
You're not wrong, but you're correct for the wrong
Okay,
reason.
hit me.
So I liked it because I liked the art, and I liked that Louise Simonson wrote it. And I think that
Same.
if anyone has a handle on the character of Jean Grey in modern parlance, it's her. What I didn't like about it was not that it was negative or whatever. It was that I don't really like a comic book that is just, here's my story over a whole issue. It's just like, it starts with like day one X-Men, and then it kind of goes through her history as she's perceiving her life as she's dying, and it just kind of felt very unexciting to me. But I did like it, and I did like the art.
I enjoyed it as a fan of X-Men stuff, and also a huge fan of Louise Simonson. I thought it was great, but my problem really was the negativity. It definitely
casts her in that Professor X light a little ways,
it's like,
which is really the Niles Calder light.
Yes,
if you think about it, and it's what Grant Morrison did to the X-Men negatively.
Sure, but what I will say is that I think when she does it, she did it not in a way that's like, what if she was a dick? Because it really isn't that. It's, what if she made choices that were worse?
Well, it's what if she knew that. It's like, what if you know that, and this is that Jonathan Hickman thing with X-Men that I don't really like. What if you know? So like, it starts with that whole thing where it was weird when they made the X-Men young, and they did that. Bendis did that whole thing. That was the last time I really like kind of super enjoyed X-Men for like a hot minute, right when that first happened. And I thought that it would be explained away by being like some kind of temporal nonsense or whatever. But what they've said is that it actually was the X-Men. They came forward in time. They had all these adventures, and then they went back, and then she mind wiped them all. And you can't do that and not have the person who did the mind wipe. You can't mind wipe yourself. It's just like nonsense that happens. So this story is basically saying that, like, when she mind wiped them and herself, supposedly,
she didn't.
Herself. She retained all of that shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, then how is the whole continuity then affected by that? And it works on that level. It's just like, ultimately it's just this historical reenactment kind of a story, and it didn't work for me on that level. But I don't think it's a bad comic.
Nope. I think it's good, and I do appreciate the ideas, and I think that it is a really well told version of these types of events, and had they gone in this direction.
Yeah, it's certainly better than that Iceman comic where they brought him back to life by someone just loving him so much that he just came back to life. Like,
I mean, it's easy because he's beautiful.
I think if they had done that in a cheesier way, I would have been more into it, but they just tried to play it off like actual science fiction. I'm like, no, you can't just make ice come alive with a personality because you love it.
Yeah, you need a fucking top hat. Haven't you seen Frosty the Goddamn Snowman?
Exactly, or at least like a magical kiss of some kind.
What if that was it?
That would be really cool, actually. It would be really great.
Had a magic top.
Oh man, people would flip the fuck out, and that would be great. See, that's what you want. You want people to flip out on your story. You want people to flip out positively, like
positively.
The negative, positive flip out. Whereas, like when I flipped out reading that X-Men Hellfire Gala, it was like a negative flip out. It's like, that's the opposite of what you want.
Yes, it is.
I think.
All right, so we've got Action Comics Night Terrors out.
Night Terrors Action Comics.
You're going to be surprised to find out that
two stories in one. You're going to find out that people went to sleep and then they woke up.
And something spooky happened in between.
Mm-hmm.
You know where else something spooky happens?
Where?
Night Terrors Angel Breaker.
Yes.
And Night Terrors Detective Comics.
Indeed.
And Night Terrors.
There's actually some really
Harley Quinn.
I like Night Terrors Harley Quinn.
Night Terrors Harley Quinn is really good.
Yeah, it's good. There were 3 Night Terror series that I liked, and Harley Quinn was one of them.
I like the main Night Terror series. It makes me really happy to see Wesley Dodds in stuff. I think that's cool. I like Deadpool. I love Deadpool. Fucking Dead Man story. Yeah. I love a Dead Man story. I can't help it.
I did like the part in that when Batman was like, "Oh, I've never been this tired." It's like, "Oh yeah, Dead Man's been running around your body while you were asleep." Dope.
Sleep dope.
And I like
Night Terrors Titans.
Titans was good too. I liked it.
My little easel here is really fucking up. Come on. Come on, friction. What is going on here? All right.
You need something that's a little easier to use.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Yep. Whatever. Night Terrors Titans.
Yeah.
Here's the best book of the week. It's a thing called Marvel Unleashed. It's got a bunch of dog people and cat people and.
I think they're just dogs. And
Okay, fine.
cats.
Okay, if you think that Lockjaw is just a dog,
I think Oh, well,
Lockjaw
no.
is actually Lockjaw.
I'm confused about what Lockjaw actually is. Because
Okay.
they said he was a dog, and then they said he wasn't a dog, and then they said he was a dog
I think
again.
he is currently a dog in continuity. I believe he is a real dog, but he has the Terrigen Mist, and for some reason that activated his latent inhumanness, which is like the way you can be a mutant and an inhuman at the same time, or an Atlantean and a mutant at the same time.
Yeah.
It's the same deal. He is a dog who, like how Brew is a mutant from the Brood.
Yeah.
He is an inhuman from the race of dogs.
Yeah, and he's good, but he's been kidnapped by that pesky Kraven the Hunter that all the animals must fight every time they appear in a comic book. But Kyle Starks wrote this, and Kyle Starks is great, and the art is really good, and it has Ghost Dog from Doctor Strange, and it has
Bats.
It has Cat, which I assume is Niels from Speedball, but I don't really know which cat it is.
No, it's Chewie the Flurgan.
The Flurgan? Oh, from the Captain Marvel.
Yeah, it's Chewbacca. What is his name? The name is Chewbacca something. That's three names.
No, I know it. I've actually never seen the film, and I don't read the comic very much, so I didn't catch it right off the bat.
The cat was from the Kelly Pseudoconic series.
Uh-huh.
It was introduced in that and then brought into the movie.
Yes.
Definitely the best part of the movie as far as I'm concerned.
Unfortunately,
I liked that movie.
There is no appearance by Peacat the Penitent Puss.
Holy shit, Peacat the Penitent Puss is the best, but nobody knows who Penitence is. So
not anymore. Now, if you say Penance, if anyone knows what it is, they think it's that X-Men character.
Yep, they think it's the X-Men character.
Because it's been long forgotten that Speedball did that to himself.
I think it's interesting that the most prominent animal of this Pet Avengers team is not pictured on the cover. That would, of course, be, it's not really a spoiler, but D-Dog, who is like a D-Man version of a dog.
Right, it's D-Man's dog.
And has absolutely no powers and is just kind of an idiot like D-Man.
Yeah.
It's the same deal where it's just like this dog that has too much self-confidence and a torn mask that it wears that looks really stupid.
Yeah.
And just thinks too much of itself, and it's awesome.
Kyle Starks is a master of writing a lovable dipshit.
He does write a good lovable dipshit.
You just always love the dipshit that he writes.
Yep.
He's great.
So we've got Lockjaw, we've got Throg, we've got Bats the Ghost Dog, we've got Chewie the Flurgan, Lucky the Pizza Dog, and we've got D-Dog.
I think that Falcon is in it too, right?
Oh, and Red Wing is in it too.
Red Wing, yeah.
So we've got.
Who I believe is also a mutant.
I believe Red Wing is a mutant. Yes,
I think so.
I think canonically he is a mutant.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't either. Doesn't matter. It's comics.
Just because it's fun. Mighty Boss Tones number 111.
Mighty Bossin Tongers.
Now, let me pitch you a comic called The Mighty Morphin Boss Tones.
Mighty Morphin Boss Tones.
I would be into that.
I think it would be funny if it was animated and they had the ska soundtrack. You would really need the music to be part of it for it to sell it. And one of them, oh man, can you imagine? Can you
Rangers,
picture this?
It's time to pick it up.
But here's a piece of this that they form into a Voltron-esque towering thing, and as they fight, a little robot just dances
on the side.
And does he just dances.
That's amazing.
And they're like, why does that robot just dance? He doesn't do anything else.
Who is this guy?
Why is he there?
Is he at every show? What the hell's happening? Perfect.
Yes.
And also, instead of a flaming sword, he produces a giant trumpet and then finishes off all of them. That's his end move, is pulling out a trumpet and just destroys them with a... No, you know what? This is $1 million.
Yeah, we just did it.
I think I need to...
We need to contact all parties and get this going.
All Boss Tones.
Yep.
Calling all Boss Tones.
And all Saban.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Saban and Boss Tones. We need to get together for a meeting.
Right. So...
Boss Tones.
Here we have My Little Pony Classics Reimagined.
I read it.
What do you think?
It's dumb.
Oh, perfect.
No, it's a reenactment of Wizard of Oz with ponies. There's nothing, no meta there. It's just that.
Okay. Did Wizard of Oz not have ponies? Was that the problem?
It was not. It was a Scarecrow and but instead
Mrs.
of
King?
I think Mrs. King did appear.
Okay. I remember she was one of the Lollipop Guild. Is that right?
She represented the Lollipop Guild.
Oh,
she
right.
was not one of them. She just represented them legally.
Wait a minute. Did we never meet the Lollipop
That's
Guild?
correct. They represented the Lollipop Guild. You didn't pick up on that?
No, I never
They're
noticed
just
that.
like the smallest lawyers in Oz.
Holy shit. They must be powerful as hell.
Yeah, they have a lot of expertise
Okay.
amongst them.
We've got here Moon Knight, City O' the Dead, number 2.
We should probably drink a lot of coffee before we do this every time.
Sure.
Moon Knight, yeah, he runs around with someone.
With a
A female companion. I guess that's what people want in comics. Is just like Hero X teams up with Hero Y of same or opposite sex, and they won't they kiss and fight a demon or something.
That's kind of what I want.
We're different, you and I.
Well, that's Newburn. It won't stay on the stand. You know what? Nothing will stay on the stand today.
Why is the stand being like that?
No /1. I'm just going to have to hold
be.
it with my hand, and you'll see my weird fucking Harry Hobbit hand.
It must be
holding
Randall Flagg.
Yes. It's the walking dude.
The walking dude.
He prefers the walking dude.
Yeah, it's true. However, he's the one that's affecting the stand.
Yes. I understand now. I understand.
I wanted to explain the joke that you clearly got.
I understand. Me understand. No/1. It's a comic book. I don't know what it's about.
It's fine.
Why won't this thing stay? What has changed in the world that is making this thing no longer work?
Maybe we should turn the fan back on.
I know. This feels like...
Maybe it was holding it in place.
It feels like when somebody cuts their own head off on QVC when they're trying to sell a samurai sword.
Oh, that's a good one.
I wish that was... I don't think they literally cut their own head off.
No, they cut it. I think they cut themselves.
They did.
But they're like...
That's right. They were like, somebody needs to get an ambulance.
There's another one that's like a lady that she passes out while she's selling something and like falls back into the whole set, collapses around her. It's pretty good if you like that kind of stuff.
Did I ever tell you that one time Covered in Bees was playing a show at a small punk club, like a dangerous, like in the middle of the woods, like green room, like you're gonna get fucking murdered punk club.
Okay.
We were doing this and it was full of skinheads. Place was just fucking like
The
everybody
worst.
had a white t-shirt. Like they were all wearing like white
suspenders.
Well, I mean, yes, but they were all pulled down, so they had just their white wife beaters on, and they were all crossing their arms at us, like making a wall, and we were just like, haha, we're gonna have fun. And I fucking spinal tapped because there was something going on with the wall, and I knocked the wall down on top of me while I was
no,
playing.
It fell forward on you. Oh, rough.
Oh my god, it was like, of all the times to have something that embarrassing happen when there's a bunch of fucking like murderous skinheads staring you down and you really worried that you're about to get green roomed. Yeah, that was not the time.
Nope.
But boy,
there's a funny video of a guy playing drums at a church service where a plant falls on him.
Exactly
like a lot of times.
Like. The wall was made out of that like R5 or R14 or whatever that shit is, that like squishy foam that's like insulation foam.
Yeah.
And it's just like sheets of that stuff.
Yeah.
And they were apparently poorly propped up and they just collapsed on me like a cartoon fucking castle. Like somebody dropping bricks. Oh my god, I'm glad there's a
If
fucking
only
video
cell
of
phones
that.
had existed then.
They did, but nobody there was doing it because they were too busy intimidating us.
We're going to let you know how tough we are.
And they sure did. They let us know that they were only there to see, what the hell's Outbreak? Like, if you're not fucking Outbreak, if you're not on Plan 9, we're gonna fucking kill you. Bridge 9, sorry. Plan 9's actually an okay label. Bridge 9, yes. Bridge 9 hardcore guys do not like Covered in Bees. That is a lesson that we learned, and we will never make that mistake again.
Don't play a show with those guys.
Nope. Never. No Cruel Hand, no any of those guys. Anyway, Planet of the Apes.
It was good.
It's great.
Yeah. I like the art in this.
I do too. I like the design work. I like the character design stuff. I like the weapon designs of like the nonsense that all of the apes are making into weapons. I think it's just great. Just the whole deal.
Yeah.
We got
Well played.
Da Penguin.
Yeah.
He's like a bird person.
If you want to read a very brown and gray comic book about a
I
fat
do.
guy in a suit,
Wait.
then
Does he go nutsoid?
what do you mean?
Is it like Troma's famous film, Fat Guy Goes Nutsoid?
It's not like that at all.
Oh,
It's just like mostly just people talking, and the color palette fades from brown to black to gray.
Boo.
It's for someone. It's
Give me
not
a
for
Fat
me.
Guy Goes Nutsoid comic, or get
I
the
wish
fuck
he
out.
had gone nutsoid. I would have been like, ooh, cool, Penguin. I guess Penguin is a character people care enough about to give him a whole comic.
Yep. We got one of them there, Rocketeer comics.
That's fine.
It's if you like the Rocketeer, you're gonna like this comic because it's got the Rocketeer in it.
Yeah.
And if you like Rogue Sun, you're gonna like this issue of Rogue Sun that won't stay up like anything else.
It's too flimsy.
Dear God, I need to remake this whole little set piece thing because this is not functioning properly. All right, here we have a comic written by Ryan Stegman. That would be The Schlub.
Did you read it?
I did.
Nice. What's your take?
So here's the thing. It's a funny book for me because it's not. I don't know if I would say that I like this comic, but I wouldn't say that I dislike this comic either. And I wouldn't say that it's poorly made. I would say that it is a relic of a time. It's a book that I've read before, basically, is what I'd say. It's that this book would have felt at home sitting on the shelf next to Major Bummer or you
I
know,
can see
like what?
Isn't he a dentist?
He's a dentist.
Yeah.
I mean, just like in Little Shop of Horrors.
I was like, is this a Little Shop of Horrors ripoff? But it wasn't.
It certainly isn't. He is a dentist who switches. He does a Freaky Friday with the greatest superhero in the world, and he becomes
That's what happened.
incredibly powerful, and he makes terrible mistakes. This guy is currently battling this world-ending monster, and he switches places with him right at the most inopportune moment and then starts getting his ass kicked as the superhero. But he's so excited that he's no longer the schlubby dude that he was before and that his boring life has been turned upside down, that he can't stop just admiring how cool things are and how strong he is. And he just keeps getting his ass beat. And the guy is instructing him as in the body of the dentist. The world's greatest superhero is instructing him. And it's good. It's good in a weird way. Again, it is really a relic of another time. It's drawn like a Mad Magazine, which I fucking love. Like I love.
Yeah, I like the art
style.
It's good.
It's really fun. It feels like Marshall and I were talking about it, and we kind of came on the idea that it was like a PG-13 version of The Boys. Like it has a feeling of The Boys, but not as there's no weird racial misogynist kind of issues going on in it. It's not trying to push any boundaries. It's gross when it's gross, and it's silly when it's silly, and it's I don't know. I would definitely say that if you're a fan of I Hate Fairyland, that you're probably not going to hate this book. That would be my guess.
Yeah. I'm flipping through it now. I get it. I needed your description to really access it.
I thought it was fun. I mean, again, it's not breaking any boundaries. It's not the newest idea on the block, but it's also not a bad comic.
Yeah, it's fun.
And that artwork is super fun. If you're into that kind of like super stylized Mad Magazine style, like his own version of a Jack Davis kind of thing, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
It's cool.
Scrapper. Number 2.
It's about a dog that solves mysteries.
Ruh-roh.
A mystery. Yeah, it's Alex DeCampi.
It is Alex DeCampi.
Yeah.
All
and it has a cover blurb by Seth Green about how much he loves it.
Weird.
Seth, I also love Bitcoin Green. Nothing against this comic, personally. I just like, well, who cares what that guy thinks?
Seth, I was going to do a fucking cartoon about my Bored Apes.
Yes, that's right. This is the Bitcoin I bought called Bored Ape 13.
He's smoking weed in this one. Dude.
Oh, man. The sad thing is that he would have made money off of it.
I know. He would have made a fucking fortune.
Unfortunately.
Well,
that wasn't
whatever.
To be.
He's great. I like him. Whatever.
Someone stole the Bored Ape from him or something. Isn't that what happened?
Someone funged his token, unfortunately.
Oh, it got fungible.
He was like, this thing's unfungible, and somebody was like, hold my beer. I'm going to funge the shit out of this thing.
Shit out of this token. Bored Ape, he's going to have something to think about now. They're going to have time to be bored now.
Yes. Be too busy crying all the way home. All the way to Strange New Worlds, the Scorpius Run.
Oh, is this that Star Trek?
Star Trek.
Yep.
Mike
Allred did a cover of it.
Oh, really?
I think.
I started watching that Star Trek, and I got to tell you, that is a fun series.
Nice.
They are doing amazing things with Star Trek.
Yeah,
I was blown away by that. I like Lower Decks. I think that's really fun. I think they're very smart about who they chose to run that show and the voice casting.
I've heard so many good things about the Star Trek stuff that I actually am like actively convincing myself to not get Paramount Plus, but I think what I'm going to do is ditch Disney and get Paramount Plus.
I ditched Disney. I ditched HBO.
I need HBO.
I have ditched like almost every single service, and the only one I have left is Paramount. Not to
Interesting.
I hate to plug any service in the middle of the. I'm not a fucking member, but I hate to plug anybody during the strike because we support the unions around these parts and. Fuck those greedy. So
you
ass
deleted
bitches.
you deleted your streaming services in solidarity with the strike.
Netflix. I deleted all those motherfuckers.
Wow.
Because fuck them.
That's
and
integrity.
Not paying any of their motherfucking writers.
Nice.
That's all I will say about that.
Good for you.
But I will say, I'm also buying comics from Marvel Comics, which is owned by Disney, which is a massive mega corporation.
Yeah.
And there's not much I can fucking do about it.
Yeah, it's true. Those are the ones people like the most.
Drop a whole bunch of F-bombs.
Yes.
So these droids, let me tell you a little something about them. They're not your daddy's droids. They're more of a dark droid.
Oh.
And there's a doctor. She's not your daddy's doctor. She's a Dr. Aphra. She's more of a spelunkin kind of Indiana Jones type doctor.
Yeah.
Like a Dr. Jones.
Yes.
The one who has no time for love. That one.
Yes.
And
Dr. Jones.
She's gonna fight them droids. I actually have been enjoying the series.
Yeah,
I'm
people
not a huge...
clearly like this character. Like, there's no media tie-in for Dr. Aphra. It's just a comic, and people buy the shit out of it.
Yeah,
right?
It is weird. Like, she has a weird following, but I don't know. I enjoy this crossover. I've enjoyed a lot of the crossovers. They did that Bounty Hunters crossover that was really fun. I don't know. It's good.
Saga of the Dark Droids.
Yep, they know what they're doing. Anyway, Storm. Exit Storm.
Can I just say, there are 2 panels in this comic that blew my fucking mind.
Really?
Yup.
Did they knock your socks off?
Right off my ass.
Wow. Huh.
I wear socks on my ass. It's a little known fact. No, there is a... Ann Nocenti has explained... Should I say it?
How Jim Lee manages to obscure genitals using only smoke?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. It's how
That's the mystery of the X-Men that I wanted to know.
Storm's mohawk stays up. 2 panels.
If it's not static electricity,
it is static electricity.
Disappointed.
It's totally static electricity.
Okay.
she gets soaking wet, and her hair is like down, and you're like you realize in this one panel you've never seen Storm with her hair looking like that, and it's like, and then it pops right up, and the guy's like, how do you do that? And she's like, well, I use the static electricity to keep my mohawk up because I don't have access to hair gel. I was like, this is fucking great.
And that's why she quit the X-Men.
Great.
She quit the X-Men because they did not allow her to have hair gel.
That's correct. Actually, I don't think that's why. Also, I said to Tristan before this started, somehow, whoever did the cover of this, Sanchez, they managed to somehow, and this is, I would never have thought someone could successfully do this, but merge the style of Alan Davis with the style of Barry Windsor Smith, like late period Barry Windsor Smith.
It's very strange.
It is bananas that is a successful art style mashup that worked, and I am very impressed. Who's this artist?
It's great.
I'm going to look it up. I have the comic in my
While
hand.
you look that up, I'm going to show people that Stranger Things is still a comic book.
Oh, it is Alan
Tales
Davis.
from the Hawkins.
Alan Davis did the cover.
Oh, that's why.
Okay, and then the Alejandro Sanchez is the color style over Alan Davis is just like the Barry Windsor Smith color palette. So that's what it is. It's Alan Davis being embellished by someone who is kind of aping the color style of the like life death kind of stuff.
Yes.
All right, mine's slightly less blown by that aspect.
Well, here we have Turtles versus Stranger Things. Who will win? The Strange Things?
The audience.
Oh, yes. The American viewing audience is always the winner in these cases. We got. I do love the matchup of the Mousers versus the weird Demogorgon. I love the Mousers. I think that's just one of the most fun things that they created with the Turtles.
Nice.
Such a good idea. We got Tales of Suspense. If you like comic books that are French and weird, you're gonna love this.
Yeah, actually, it's not that bad. It's a horror anthology with short stories. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Ashley Wood did some of the art. If you like that artist,
and if you like Tenements, you're gonna love Tenement.
Yes, it is all about Tenements.
From whatever that series was, Bone Orchard? No, something else.
It's a guy selling mints for $10 a piece. They're Tenement.
And they're full of ecstasy. 10
Yes.
mints. It's
Bone Orchard Mythos, I believe.
It is Bone Orchard. Okay, good. I was worried that I was going insane. Here we go. Here's one of the bigger books of the week. We got the Immortal Thor from the team that brought you the Immortal Hulk.
Yes.
This is an interesting one. It's not quite the earth-shattering reimagining that Immortal Hulk was because, you already have an immortal character, number one. And also, it suffers from a little bit of, hey, this thing? We got this thing from hell.
Yeah.
And
I don't know. It worked on a level enough where I was like, I want to see where this goes.
Agree.
I like Al Ewing.
Same.
I'm gonna at least be curious enough to buy a couple issues, but
Yes.
we'll see where it goes. Immortal Hulk was so good, and I don't know that you can really just like slap it as a brand onto like other titles. But that said, it did have like the kind of grandeur of the Asgardian, like there was a Kirbiness to it, and I think if that continues, then and the story is compelling, then I'll stay on board. But I did like that it had that kind of lo forsooth kind of like language to it, and I think that Thor really does need that, and it worked.
It has that, and it also has some just it's an interesting version of Thor. Like, I like how far down the road of compassion and kindness he's gone at this point. He's so disturbed that he has to even injure someone at the beginning of this comic. He has hit the point where he's just like, he knows that this creature that he's fighting is virtually immortal, and even breaking him, taking his head off. He's grown his head back before. He's not going to kill it, but he's still, it hurts his soul to do this thing. And that's an interesting Thor, because there's usually, even at the height of his whatever, he's still got a braggadocio and a bombasticness that isn't shown here, and it's like there's a sadness to him that's interesting. I don't know. Yeah. It's an interesting take on the character. Everyone is very feminine too. Like, the drawings of everyone, they're all very pink cheeked and very like almost Rubenesque.
Well, in the end,
some of them.
This is
Loki especially.
Well, and didn't Al Ewing write the Loki series where it was like a lot of that kind of like gender mishmash
Yeah.
stuff that was going on. I only know this from having done this podcast for the last 5 years.
Yep.
And looking at them. I don't read Loki comics typically, but I do think it will throw back to that, at least his take on Loki. I would imagine.
So.
I don't know. It feels like sort of a continuance.
Yeah. I will say that it is very good, and I enjoyed it, but it was not what I expected. And I guess that's probably for the best. I did not want something that I was going to be able to see everything that was going to happen. So
yeah, definitely.
Cool. We got Time Before Time, number 26.
Yep.
I'm going to slide down again, because why not? Terror War, number 5.
I like Terror War.
It's
really good. It's a 9-issue mini, so if you haven't been getting it yet, maybe wait for the trade, but it's good.
Yes.
It's a cool concept.
Hey, we got one that I know you're going to be excited for.
I actually was really excited for this one. It's the issue where they fight that I've wanted to have happen for like a couple issues now. I
didn't read it. It's called Assault on Main Street. Who's the street?
I'll be honest with you. It didn't.
Oh, it's not Bill. It's not.
I don't think it's Danny. I think
Danny
it's.
I
think it might be some. Basically, I just flipped through it, but basically, there's some company that has taken Calder's research on like basically like how we were talking about earlier, where like the thing that Morrison did in his run when he revealed that Niles Calder created the Doom Patrol and was this Machiavellian prick behind the whole fucking thing, which really changed the whole deal and the complete dynamic of the team. And a lot of that kind of got brought over to the X-Men in terms of like how Professor X was shown and his weird Machiavellian shit and what we're talking about with Jean Grey or whatever. But basically in this one, some shitty corporation has taken the nanotechnology that Calder created and used it to create metahumans.
Okay.
And Chris Burnham gets an opportunity to draw some real horrific mutations and shit, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And it's more of what I kind of wanted. I wish I liked this series a little bit more than I did, and I don't know what it is that's like the X factor that's making me not like totally love it, but I do love this idea of like just kind of like everything kind of building to a head and everything's. But so I don't know if it actually involves Danny or not. It might be, they're fighting on him or something.
Yes.
But the last I knew, Danny was an ambulance and not a street.
Nice.
He was a street. He was an ambulance. He was a world. He was all kinds of different shit.
Good for him.
I keep saying they. Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad.
They, in fact, Venom, number 24.
This was the most sensical issue of Venom I've read in a while.
I loved it. I really loved this issue. I loved the one before it, and I love this one. I think it's really fun.
I don't think I read the one before.
I mean, it's very 90s, and when I say that, I mean it's very 90s written in a modern time. So it doesn't feel. It feels cheeseball, but it doesn't feel unfun cheeseball. When they're being super cheesy in the fight scenes with all of the nonsense that they're doing and all of the quipping, it's like it's the same kind of thing, but written better than that. So like written with a modern sensibility at least.
Also Al Ewing.
And also, yeah, it's Al Ewing. So, but I mean, it really is like it boils down to big meaty punches, which is great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Which is
it was
fun.
A nice fight.
It's fucking Doom and Rumble, Rampage, Regurgitate, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, I don't know.
New Venom, Red Venom. Yeah, who cares? Chewing gum Venom. X-Force, number 43.
Of the X titles, this is probably my favorite one because it's the one I care the least that it gets dark because it already was dark.
Yes.
Kid Omega is back. And I like it. It's kind of bringing to head a long simmering plot line that isn't involving the Beast, which also doesn't make me mad.
Yep.
So yeah, it was fine. No, the art was okay.
Well, here is a book that I actually very much enjoyed.
You'll have to talk about it. I didn't understand what's happening.
That would be A Realm of X. So everyone's getting thrown into these different realities, and in this case, we have the team of Magic, Danny Moonstar. Oh my God, what is
Dust was one of them.
Dust is one of them, and the pink one, Jinx.
Sure.
Is it Jinx?
I don't know.
Fuck, I can't remember. Jinx is their power. I can't remember if that's their name. The pink, weird, crystally one.
Pixie?
Pixie's there too, actually, for some reason. I saw her, but she doesn't even interact in it. I think you see her in the background.
One thing the X-Men comics do have is a nice table of contents.
That is nice.
Typhoid Mary.
And Typhoid Mary's there as well.
Curse and Marrow.
Oh, Marrow. Oh, God, I love Marrow. Anyway, so it's that team, and they have been taken to one of the 9 realms, one of the Asgardian realms. They've been transported there, and we get a very classic, like, instead of what we had before for Excalibur stuff, for the Hickman Excalibur, which got very into the nitty-gritty of fairy realm crap that I didn't care about. This is very, like, we got wizards, we got fucking elves, we got orcs, we got all this shit. Here we go. Magic is missing her powers for reasons unknown. She can't access them for some reason.
They are something about teleporting.
Yes, and so something has happened. We find out that they are these legendary warriors in this area, and that there's a big conflict that's about to happen, and Jinx, or whatever her name is that I cannot remember to save my life, the pink girl that curses
Her name is
people. Curse. It's like the pink girl that curses people. Yes, Curse. That's right.
That's
okay.
her deal. Her mutant power is cursing.
Her mutant power is really awesome. Her mutant power is very complicated and really fun. She has an ability that boils down to, they describe it in this as she can either help someone or hurt someone. She can help someone by hurting herself, or she can hurt someone by helping. She can help herself by hurting someone. So those are the only options.
Curse.
The only good thing she can do. She does one good thing, and we see the repercussions of her trying to help someone. So anytime she tries to help someone, she suffers terribly. Like, she's bleeding out of her orifices, painful, and just,
she's
like,
not going to do that for very long.
Puking on the floor, like, all fucked up. It's an interesting idea. You know, we got a Dark Queen who wants her powers for some reason, and
it's Saturnine, isn't it?
Yes and no. Yes.
Sorry if that was a spoiler.
That might have been a spoiler.
Oops.
But it wasn't supposed to be kind of whatever. It doesn't matter. Beep. It is Saturnine. But this is a really fun series, and I'm actually excited about it. It feels more like an actual Excalibur story than anything I've read in the last 25 years. So that's what it feels like to me. Is like something where I'm like, oh, I'm reading something out of the first 20 issues of Excalibur.
All right.
Awesome. Love it. It is. And also there's a mummy that just says curse.
Surf. Turf. I love that guy. I use that. That's like permanently in my vocabulary now.
Oh
yeah, I know. Curse.
And
get your Action Frank doll.
Yes, the Jiggle Billy. Anyway, so that's it. Those are the comics for today. That's what we got. We got all those comics. We got it done.
Yeah, we did. Nice.
Just about an hour, so the video might actually be uploaded by tomorrow morning. Maybe.
Ooh, does it take that long?
Fucking A, it does.
Crazy.
Jesus, YouTube. Come on, get it together. Anyway, so that's
happening.
it. And follow us at Actually Comics. Follow the video podcast. We are at Coast City Comics Maine.
Yep.
On YouTube. And we post all sorts of weird stuff there, so do that, and all sorts of other things. Go to Coast City Comics and buy stuff. That helps us make the podcast. That helps us do all this stuff.
Yep.
We really appreciate it. And that's it. You got anything to say?
Oh, I guess follow me at...
There. Okay, there we go. Now I switched over.
Wait, what happened?
I was on the wrong camera.
I thought you asked me to say something.
Yes.
Oh.
No, I was just fucked up because I messed up the cameras.
You just have had too much caffeine. Now we're crashing. No, I do post at Dollar Binge on Instagram.
Nice.
And I'm part of a Facebook group called Panel to Panel on Facebook. It's a really good group, and I should plug that too.
It is a really good group.
It's
I agree.
a very good
It's very
group
fun.
where we post there's a panel to panel, and there's cover to cover. And the panel one, we post panels from comics and the that we're reading actively, so it's all active readers. And then the cover to cover is the same thing, but just covers. And it can be found. It's panel to panel, like TO panel, not like to the number, because there's another thing called panel to panel that's not the same thing. So.
It's
Yeah.
very fun. I don't like Facebook at all and don't look at it. But
The
I do look
only
at that.
reason I
It's the
have
only thing I
Facebook is
look at.
because I admin this comic group.
It's pretty much-
100%.
It's that and Video Vagrants.
And,
Those are the only two things I look at.
Yeah, and John Rovnak is a long time. He's written a book called Panel to Panel about comics, and he's the kind of brainchild of it. And it's a cool group of folks, and it's very cool.
Nice.
It's actually like pretty international, and there's lots of interesting stuff being posted all the time. So it's a good thing to check out if
I
you
agree.
like comic books.
I agree. And I think you might if you've made it all the way through this. So,
True.
thank you so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.